Imagine living in a society where everyone reaped for years the benefits of wise decisions and clear leadership emanating from a trusted elite, but then something goes terribly wrong. An epic misjudgment so egregious that an entire generation's progress is wasted, but through it all the same leaders remain in charge, demanding trust and faith as though nothing had happened. We would expect the rise of popular movements to voice the people's loss of confidence, but we don't really need to imagine. In 2010, their motto was, "Don't tread on me." In 2011, "We are the 99%. In 2016, "Make America Great Again." And the eponym of this week's Torah portion, the insurrectionist Korach, boldly challenges Moses and Aaron by saying, "Rava lachem," you have taken much for yourselves. According to one line of rabbinic interpretation, Korach was right. The leadership of Moses and Aaron had failed. Most recently, they were blindsided both by the treachery of the spies and by the people's overwrought reaction to the spies' pessimistic report, a reaction that had doomed an entire generation to die wandering through the wilderness. But ultimately, Korach's downfall was not his ambition, not his jealousy or ideology, but the fact that Moses was able to turn his argument around and say, "No, you have taken much for yourself." You see, Korach hadn't objected when his own tribe of Levi was itself elevated, itself given privileges beyond those of the typical Israelites. But perhaps the largest problem is that the only person who can force Moses to confront the people's loss of confidence was himself a leading member of the Levite tribe, himself part of the ruling elite. Moses lived alone, outside the Israelite camp. He interacted with God and a small circle of elders. When he spoke to the people, he hid his face behind a mask. It's surely no coincidence that the sin of the spies almost directly follows the appointment of those very same elders whose job it was to cushion Moses from excessive contact with the people and their concerns. Following Korach's failed insurrection, the Torah picks up the story in the 40th year of the Israelites' journey through the wilderness, a full 38 years later. Our sages explain that God did not speak to Moses once in those 38 intervening years, perhaps so Moses would learn to turn back to the people, to speak with them, and more importantly, to listen to them. The dispute between Korach and Moses, between two powerful leaders, each claiming, "You have taken much for yourself," feels especially relevant in today's world. Ultimately, the authority and trust that we place in our own political leaders, in democracy itself, is only viable in a culture that actively promotes accountability, communication, and perspective. Shabbat Shalom.